So you know that voice inside of you? The one that says, "Why did you mess up again? You're an idiot. You're such a failure." We all have this inner critic, you know. Sometimes it's more than one inner critic, more than one part that tends to beat us up. And it's really easy to get upset with this part, to say, why don't you just shut up? Why don't you get out of here? You don't belong here. I'm tired of listening to you yell at me, saying that I'm a bad person or I did something wrong. That in itself is another part. It's an angry part coming in towards this other inner critic. And then it's just, this fight that goes on and it's chaos. Most of the time, this inner critic voice that you have is not even your voice. It's probably one of your parents' voices inside of you that, told you were messing up or you did something wrong when you were a child. Because during that situation, your parents were probably scared you were going to get hurt or afraid that you're making them look bad in public or, in some social situation. So they're projecting their own fear onto you, which then created this inner critic voice. For me, I struggle with starting tasks, with definitely making content. It comes out a lot. There's this barrier that I face. And if I can just get past the start of it, then things start unfolding. Like anything with being creative. Starting the task, and then things unfold after that. But starting it's like this voice comes in and says, you should get over yourself. Which could be fuel to get over myself, not think too much about, me or how I show up, just start doing it. However, if I give in to that, I'm now working with this energy of fear versus compassion and curiosity and being open. So when I hear this voice that says, you should just get over yourself, I do have another voice that is really angry and says, don't talk to him like that. Like, I'm tired of hearing you. And it's easy for me to get really more wound up. I get more upset. I start feeling the anger of like, man, I'm so tired of this. Why can I not just be in this flow state all the time? Why can't I just be who I authentically am all the time? Why can't I just be me and express myself freely and have, no fear and stop protecting myself in ways around it with thoughts of what are other people going to think about me? What are other people going to think about my artwork or what I create, how I show up? When I pause all this and just kind of reflect on it, creating space from this inner critic voice that I understand intellectually that they're trying to keep me safe from other harm. Because if I don't put myself out there, then there can't be any repercussions on, right? I mean, I'm not getting feedback. There's no sounding board. There's no other perspectives coming into my own little world. And that creates this false sense of safety. And I say false sense because it's not really safe. You know, I'm not really truly living and experiencing life, and I don't know what trying and failing is like. So it's very limited. My perception is very limited of life if I stay in that space. When I step towards this inner critic that says you should just get over yourself, or you're such an idiot, like, what were you thinking? When I step towards them and I'm like, hey, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. And I have other parts that are really angry at you because they want you to stop doing this. And I can understand that you're not even my voice. You're one of my parents' voices that is screaming at me right now. And I really do want you to stop. However, I'm curious, what is your story? Like, what are you getting out of this? Why do you feel like at this moment you need to tell me to get over myself? Like, what is driving you right now? Because, I mean, I want to drive my own bus down the road and be in control of my own car and make my own decisions, what directions I'm going in life. And then you tend to, like, jump on my lap here and take the steering wheel, you know, start hitting the brake here and slowing everything down to meet your own perception and agenda. So I'm curious, why are you doing that right now in this moment? And then being very open of hearing them and letting them express their story to me. Because I have other parts too that want to kind of step in and tell the inner critic story. They want to overanalyze it, be very intellectual, explain it away with reasoning or something. It's getting down to the specifics. Like, all right, inner critic, I'm here. I have all the time in the world to be with you right now. Time is not an issue. You have my full attention. And I start really listening to them. And they tell me stories. Like, I'm 5 years old. I'm in a public setting. I drop my crayons, spill them everywhere, and people get upset with me over this because I'm causing a scene when it was just an accident. So when it steps in and says, you're such an idiot for messing up, for creating a disturbance, I start to resonate with them and kind of tune into their own experience. Then I ask them, what did that feel like to you? When you dropped the crayons and people were yelling at you? Wow, I felt completely humiliated, like I'm an idiot. And everything started just caving in on me. Wow, that sounds pretty terrible over some crayons. Yeah, it really was, because I was scared and terrified, and I started crying. And then no one picked me up when I was crying. They just started yelling at me to stop causing a scene. Yeah, that's a lot. When no one's there to, help regulate your nervous system and really meet you where you're at and be with you in that moment when you're clearly expressing that it's very sad and painful of whatever you're experiencing. Yeah, it was. I don't ever want to be in that space again. So I'm trying to keep you from being in that, from experiencing that again. Don't you get that? Yeah, I do. I totally get that now. I mean, that makes so much more sense to me because you're really afraid of feeling that experience of humiliation. Makes so much more sense to me now because now I'm feeling what you're feeling. And can you, inner critic, can you be with me in this moment and experience what it is like to have a compassionate witness come alongside of you and allow this feeling of humiliation and shame for feeling like an idiot and to alleviate that, because now you're enveloped with compassion and I'm not gonna leave you in this space, right? So can you trust in me that I can risk, I could step out, I can create things without the fear of humiliation, without living from that? Well, I could try, Thank you for being here with me. Good. I mean, that's all I'm asking for you, inner critic, is to just try. I'm not asking you to give up your job just yet. I'm not asking you to, completely stop your role in protecting me, because that'd be a big ask. And I respect you. I'm just trying to work together in a more harmonious way. And I know that's going to take time. It takes time to build up trust with one another. And you don't trust self. You don't trust me completely. That I understand. So I'm just trying to demonstrate what this is really like, working with parts of you that you really just want to push away. You're tired of hearing them. They're causing a lot of pain and really just added suffering to your life that it would be a lot easier if they weren't there. And just like with any relationship, it takes turning towards them, not running away from them, not trying to push them away. I mean, that's the thing with people in a relationship that have this push-pull dynamic, fight, flight. We're going to be really close and then we're going to pull away. Parts are used to this. Like that's their thing. So they don't know what I'm not running away from you. I'm actually turning towards you to embrace you with openness. That's new to them, so it's going to take some time for them to really trust in that's not going anywhere. That's not just going to be flighty and run away again. But the more I can pause and work with my inner critic part, which is, I'm still working with this. I'm not completely healed yet. This is an ongoing journey for the rest of life. But it does get easier and a lot smoother, where there might be a hiccup, there might be, definitely time to pause and reflect and really work with them. And then I can keep going throughout my day, making progress, continuing to grow. So with all this, I hope it helps. I hope it helps you to really start working with your inner critic parts and having compassion with them, with this new lens, this new perception of like, oh, they're just protecting me. And there's a story, usually dealing with humiliation and shame. I mean, I can have a lot of compassion with someone experiencing humiliation versus where they're just an angry part trying to interfere with my life and control me and manipulate me. It's easier to have compassion with, oh, they're suffering. So with that lens, turn towards that part and be really open to hear them and what their experience of life was. Because they're stuck back in time, still living that same experience in childhood or whenever it was in the past. So hopefully this helps some people, I hope it does. And thank you all for spending time with me again. It's an honor and a privilege.